Okay, once again, good afternoon, everyone. So we will start our class immediately by continuing what we have did last time. So last day we were able to bisect a line, and now we are going to bisect an angle naman. So kindly bring out your week 4 last numbers 1 and 2. If you don't have a copy, you may focus on the screen. So to begin with, you must have the following materials. We have the straight edge or the ruler, the measuring angle of compass, and the measuring protractor. Okay, the following 3 objects are very needed on these classes. Okay, please get your bond paper. But before that one, I will demonstrate first how to bisect an angle. And for the activity, you may do it yourself after what will I demonstrate on the class that we have. Okay, first is you are going to draw 2 lines like what I'm doing right now. Okay, this is the first line and this is the second line. Okay, regardless of the opening or the angle of the opening, wag nyo muna i-measure regardless of the angle of the opening pag gusto po kayo. And you name it as, at the middle, you may name it as O. Then at the bottom end ray is B. And the top ray is point A. So we now have angle AOB. Next thing you do is you are going to measure that one using your protractor. Okay, to measure that using your protractor, as you could see on your protractor, ito yung middle. Okay, yung middle po, itatapat nyo siya dito din po sa point O. Kuha. Tapos, napapansin nyo dito sa protractor, as you could see on the camera, meron siyang linya dito sa gilid, itong edge, itong ruler. Okay, hindi po yan ang gagamitin ninyo. Ang gagamitin mo ninyo kung itong linya na nasa gitna ng 5. Okay? So, yan po yung gagamitin na linya. Yung linya na yan, itatapat nyo naman sa linya ditong OB. Okay? Ulitin ko. Yung linya dito, itatapat nyo siya sa linya ng OB. So, itatapat natin. Make sure that it is straight. Tapos, yung dot na nasa gitna ng protractor, yun po yun siya yung dot ng point O. Tapos kung titingnan ninyo, we have 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180. Wag po yan ang gagamitin. Yung nasa baba po, yung color black, yung 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. In this case, ang akin is nasa 40,
60 po akin.
can you still hear me? Class, can you still hear me?
Opo, sir.
Okay, my
Opo,
connection was cut off. Well, anyway, let's continue. So, I have here 48 degrees. Okay, next. Ano yung gagawin ko dyan? So, take a look at the second step of in our module or in our last. The second step is the needle rather, yung ng inyong compass is ipo-point nyo siya sa gitna. Tapos, guguhitan nyo anywhere else sa top na ray. Okay, guguhitan nyo siya. Next, yan po. Without changing the opening of the compass, iguguhit nyo naman siya sa kabilang or sa lower ray. Okay. So, that's it. So, meron na tayong intersection na nabuo. The next thing you do is step number 3. For the step number 3, you are going to, without changing again the opening of the compass, you are going to point the needle at the first or the bottom part of your drawing. Okay, you are going to make a line sa gitna. Next, Sa top point naman po, you're going to make again a line. Okay, nagkaroon na tayo ng X dito sa part na ito. Okay, next, yung kung saan sila nag-X, you put a dot on that. Since nalagyan na natin siya ng dot, you may now connect the 2 points from point O and to this point at the middle. Okay, then connect that one using your straight edge or ruler. Okay, since na-connect na siya, you're now going to measure the angle form. In this case, i-measure ko siya ulit. Paano i-measure? Yung linya po na nasa dito, na nasa compass, yan po yung linya dito sa baba. Tapos, yung point na dito sa number 5, yan po yung point ng point O. Pag i-measure po natin, magiging 20, 21, 22, 24. So the measure of this one is 24 degrees. Try naman natin sa taas. Okay, yung sa taas naman po, that is 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 din po. So this is 24 degrees. Now, if they are the same, like this 24 and 24 degrees, i-add mo siya, magiging 48. Therefore, tama ang sagot mo. Pero pag hindi po siya like 24 dito, 25 dito, ibig sabihin may mali sa ginawa mo. Okay? So that is how to bisect an angle. Okay? When you bisect an angle, it means that you are trying to get the equal parts of each angle. Equal part, bakit? 24, 24, equal sila. When you say bisect, equally divided. Yun po ibig sabihin ng bisect. Repeat tayo. Step 1, you are going to draw a line forming a angle. Measure the angle. Tulad dito, 48 degrees. Next, step number 2. Yung compass ninyo, ang needle, ilalagay dito sa point O and kukuhitan yung dalawang rays sa magkabilaan, taas and baba. Then, without changing the opening of your compass, yung intersection na nabuo sa baba, ikuhit naman sa gitna. Tapos, ilipat yung needle sa taas, ikuhit ulit yan sa gitna. Then, nakakreate ka ng X dito. Kung saan siya nag-meet yung X, lagyan siya ng point. Then, i-connect siya dito sa point O. Yan na yung step number 3. Okay? So, 3 steps lamang po, i-measure agad ang dalawang angles na buo. Then, kapag magkapareho, tama po ang sagot ninyo. Okay? So, for your activity, you are going to make a similar activity or a similar demonstration that I did. So you are just going to write it on a bond paper, then you are going to submit it on the next submission. As of this moment, since ang next submission ninyo is mga next week pa or next week pa rather, so dun nyo pa yan siya isasubmit. Okay? Are my instructions clear for this lesson?
Yes po, sir.
Okay, so mamaya nyo nasagutan, proceed tayo sa next part. The next one is what you call constructing a perpendicular line. So what is this perpendicular line? When you say perpendicular line, meaning nakabuo siya ng right angle. Okay, that's perpendicular line. So perpendicular lines are intersecting lines wherein there are right angles being formed. Step 1. Draw a line similar to what I'm doing. So, ganyan. Draw na po ako ng line. Then, at the middle, lagyan nyo siya ng dot and name it as point P. Okay. Don't worry, this is a recorded class. You may replay it anytime. Next. Second step. For step number 2, get your compass. Okay, extend ko po para mahaba yung ating linya. Okay, step number 2, galing sa point P, mag-draw kayo ng isang curved line sa kabilang side. Okay, so na-cross niya na. Without changing the opening of the compass, ilipat po siya or mag-draw ulit kayo ng another curved line sa kabilang side. Okay, So you now have created this curved line. Dalawa na po. Next, step number 3. Without changing the opening of the compass again, i-point niyo po yung needle sa point sa ginawa nyong pwede na pala i-change dito, class. Pagdating na dito, pwede na i-change ang opening. So you point that one on the intersection created, then you create a curved line on top, then ilipat sa kabila, then you create another curved line on this side. So creating now an X. So in this part of X or the intersection, you draw a point or you make a point. Then, i-connect ang dalawang points galing dito sa taas papunta sa point P. Oh, that is now a perpendicular line. Okay? So this lines created here is now a perpendicular line. Yan na po yung perpendicular line. Okay, now, to make sure that it is correct, you're going to measure it again. So yung needle po dito sa taas or sa gitna ng compass ay protractor, ilagay sa gitna. Then, kapag ang measure niya, 0 papunta sa 90, exactly 90, then that is correct. Okay? Then sa kabila naman po na side, measure din po, dito galing papunta 0 to 90, and that is also correct. Kapag hindi po siya umabot ng 90, like 89 lang siya, or sumobra, naging 91, your perpendicular line is incorrect. So this is the second activity that we have this afternoon. So second activity na po ito. So yung first, itong angle bisector. First, pangalanan natin. Name this as angle bisector. Okay, for the second activity, let us call this one as, let us call this one as perpendicular line. Perpendicular. Okay, next, the third one is perpendicular line or making a perpendicular line clear to you? Yes or no? Class, are you still there? Is it clear?
Yes, po, sir.
Okay, so repeat ko ang step 1. You are going to make a line like this, mahabang linya. Then, lagyan po ng point P sa gitna. Next, you are going to create a curved line on the left part, tulad nito, and on the right part, tulad nito. Next, you may change now the opening of your compass. Then, put the needle on the left and the right part, then creating an X on top, like this and like this. Okay. Once now you have created an X on top, you put a point wherein it created an intersection. Then, out of that point, connect the point P to this point, creating a line. And that is now a perpendicular line if the measure is 90 degrees. That is the second part of the lesson. Next, the third part of the lesson. The third part is what we call the parallel line. If you're going to look at the presentation that we have here the parallel line. For a while. So this is now the parallel line. So first thing you do is you're going to make a line. Okay, yan po. That is a line. Next, out of that line, you name that one as point J. And sa dulo naman po, si point Q. Next, sa kabila naman po, walang pangalan. Okay. J, then Q. Next, you put a point anywhere on the space above. Then out of that space, you connect it with point J, creating a new line. Okay, so name that point as point R. Out of that point, we are going to make a parallel line. When you say parallel line, it is a line that do not intersect. So, step 2. You measure or you open You create a curved line before R, extending from the line of R to the line of JQ. So, naka-create ka ng linya na ganyan. Next, without changing the opening of the compass, ilipat yung needle sa point R, creating another line or curved line similar to what you did here. Okay? Next, without changing the opening of the compass, you create another line crossing, oops, hindi makaabot. Kapag ganyan po ang case, hindi po siya makaabot, you create an extension of that line. Okay? Next, tingnan natin kung cross na tayo. Okay, naka-create na tayo ngayon ng cross. Out of that cross, you put a dot. Then, you may now create a line from those points that we have. So, kapag i-create po natin siya ng, just connect the two lines created. So, tingnan natin. So, we have here and we have here. So, that is now a parallel line. Now, how are you going to make sure that it is a parallel line? So, the clue here is measure the angle here if it is the same with the lower part na natin. The measure is 59. Natin sa baba. The measure is 59. Still the same. Kapag the same po sila ng measure ng angle, 59 dito, 59 dito. So, therefore, parallel sila. Okay? So, again, step 1, you draw a line. Ito po yun. Name it as point J and point Q. Put point J and point Q rather, like this on your screen. Second step, you create a curved line here, then copy the curved line on point R. Then, without changing the opening of the compass, you create another curved line, creating an X or intersection on this side. Kapag na-create na ng intersection, you may put a point to connect the 2 points. We have now a line. Then, how to make sure that if it is a parallel line, if the angle of the lower part is the same with the higher part, therefore, your answer is correct. Okay, that is now the parallel line. Now, let us name this as parallel lines. Okay, we now have 3 activities this afternoon. First thing you do, you are going to create an angle bisector. Second, you're going to create a perpendicular line. And the third, you are going to create a parallel line. Okay, all of those will be submitted on the next classes or the next submission of last that we have. But if I were you, you are going to make it now so that hindi nyo po siya malimutan. Okay, so please, is there any questions before I proceed to the ending of classes?
Wala po, sir.
Okay, please turn on your cameras for the checking of attendance.